Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
As somebody that has been a massive Harden fan for the duration of his NBA career, I can safely say that what's transpired over the course of these past few years has been absolutely disgusting. As much as I love Harden and have tried my best to defend my Houston Rocket legend no matter what, I have to be honest with you guys. The more time that passes, the more that it's looked like my boy is truly going out sad. When Harden pulled out his infamous fat suit in search of greener pastures in Houston, he made it clear that he wanted to be traded by any means necessary so that he could win. Despite the fact that Harden would go on to get this trade request fulfilled, he wouldn't get the results or even the respect that he has desired moving teams, seeing as earlier this summer, Harden would say this: "I don't know what they want from me. You know what I mean? I've been doing this thing for a very long time. I've been one of the most consistent players in this league since I've been in it." I have to say that Harden does make a solid point. He's been an incredible regular season player for a very long time, and although he should get a huge amount of credit for that, if he really wants to reach that level of undeniable respect across the NBA community, he has to be able to consistently get it done in the playoffs. For more clarity, I don't even think that he has to win a ring to become more universally loved because his resume speaks for itself. At this point in time, I think that if he just had a few more deep playoff runs that displayed consistency and showed his true value, that a lot of fans would really appreciate that. But as much as it sucks to say, how likely is something like that occurring? Time is not on Harden's side. Harden will make an old 34 on August 26th, and to make matters worse, he's found himself in another situation that he now wants to leave at all costs, which is pretty comical when you consider the fact that he literally opted into his contract for this upcoming season expecting to be traded. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to feel bad for Harden, but who I really feel bad for are the 76er fans who are slowly watching their title window close shut due to dysfunctional stars and some pretty bad decision making by the front office. Remember that time period where the 76ers had Jimmy Butler, but then watched him walk to Miami?
Tobias Harris over me?
Don't forget that this team also could have gotten Halliburton or another good player for Ben Simmons. While the 76ers front office has made some great plays, their back-breaking ones shouldn't just get swept under the rug. On top of 76er fans having to watch their window slowly close, in the middle of what was supposed to be a make-or-break season for the Philadelphia 76ers, they also had to listen to everybody talk about how Harden wanted to return to Houston in the offseason, only for Houston to not want him when the time came. Ime Udoka has seen the chaos that Harden has caused around the league and basically said that I want no part in that, as I already have a big enough fire to try and put out over here. So instead of opting for the controversial yet shiny James Harden, what the Rockets did was throw giant bags at Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. Not exactly the moves that I would have made, but hey, everybody's different. Harden potentially returning to Houston was hyped by some as this feel-good story where he'd come back home to the city that he's missed so much to show the young guys the ropes, when a large part of any reality that involved Harden going back to Houston was just the fact that Houston had the money to even entertain a Harden move, meaning that even if Harden didn't go there, he could at the very least use them for leverage when negotiating with another potential suitor or the 76ers. Even though Harden took that pay cut with the 76ers in good faith last season, as we've seen in the NBA, the bottom line is the bottom line, and business is for better or worse business. So yeah, you really never want to forfeit any potential leverage that you could use, because once you forfeit it, who knows if you'll get it back. You see, Harden's problem is, in order to create leverage or hold on to it, you have to be valuable or hold something of value. And even if Harden still is a good player, his current value is sunk by a few outstanding things. One of those things being what Harden is looking to get paid as a declining 34-year-old who needs the ball in their hands to reach their maximum dollar value, whatever that might be. In the comments below, let me know what you guys would feel comfortable paying Harden going forward. Harden made it known earlier this offseason that he wants to be a Clipper. But unfortunately for him, the Clippers just haven't had the same level of interest in the man for good reason. Check it out. A month ago, it was being reported that Daryl Morey's asking price for James Harden was exorbitant, and that the 76ers weren't going to do a deal unless it kept them at the same tier of contention or got them enough assets to flip for another high-level player. Daryl Morey has even came out himself and said that we're not trading James Harden if we don't get a very good player in return. Get this, Morey's stupidly high asking price for Harden has resulted in the Clippers and 76ers recently deciding to end discussions surrounding Harden altogether. To quote Woj, the Sixers and Harden agreed to seek a trade together after Harden picked up his player option for the 2023-2024 season. But Philly believes it has a championship team with Harden and want to find a way to make it work with him for this season. Woj continued saying that Harden has been emphatic in wanting a trade, so the Sixers are setting up an uncomfortable situation to start camp. Ultimately, Philadelphia won't make a trade that they believed would compromise their title hopes. Guys, it goes from terrible to somehow even more terrible for Philadelphia, as according to Sam Amick, not only does Harden not want to play for the 76ers anymore, but he also has no plans of attending training camp, which has to be a bluff, but tells you the type of time that Harden is on. Here's a reminder that just about a month ago, Harden posted this to his IG story. Been uncomfortable for so long, it's time to get uncomfortable. Do you guys hear that? That is the sound of an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. According to reports, basically Harden was expecting Philly to take care of him, wanting the max from them this year after taking a pay cut the year before. Not only does Harden not get the max contract that he's looking for, but now you also expect him to show up to camp with everything being okay? Yeah, good luck. Harden is really good at a lot of things, but when it comes to getting traded, this guy is one of the best that I've ever seen do it. Surely Morey has to remember the reasons that he was able to trade for James Harden in the first place. I have a really good feeling that we are about to watch some astronomical value tanking by James Harden, thanks to the new CBA. If it comes to it, Harden is basically forced to show up to camp and play in games if he doesn't want to permanently screw himself over. Now, I know that some of you guys are thinking, well, Ben Simmons did it and he ended up fine. So wouldn't that mean that Harden would too? No, that's not the case. Harden is playing by a separate set of rules since he's in the final year of his contract. Basically, the CBA has it set so that if Harden doesn't honor his contract, he could be prohibited from entering free agency or signing with any other professional basketball team unless and until the team which the player last played expressly agrees otherwise. Now, I'm sure that Harden and his agent know this and would just simply much rather make things miserable for everybody that's involved by showing up and bringing the team attention for all of the wrong reasons, instead of putting the ball in Daryl Morey's court, which if I'm the 76ers, there is no way in the world that I would want to go through something like this again. Things like this can destroy locker rooms, and can Morey really risk that with his job potentially on the line? I just know that Ben Simmons is out there somewhere laughing at this whole debacle. You know, I really do hate that it had to be Harden and Daryl Morey. I can't say that this is how I saw their bromance ending. What's funny is that while all of this is going on, James Harden is in China having a blast while being a savage at the exact same time. As you guys saw at the start of the video, he aired Daryl Morey out. Saying what he said about him in China only makes this situation so much wilder. Either this was an incredibly calculated move by Harden, or that is one unbelievable coincidence. Now, while this is going on, Daryl Morey is out here saying that he's unmoved and still plans to keep James Harden. We see you, Morey, trying to keep that Harden price as high as possible. That's pretty smart. Which, speaking of Harden's price or value, apparently his agent is expecting big things from him this upcoming season. His agent is out here saying things like Harden expects to come in the next season in the best shape of his career and wouldn't be surprised if he's in the MVP conversation. I would love it if that were true, but at this stage of the game, that's something that I'm going to need to see to believe. Guys, in the comments below, let me know what you think of everything. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.